Hey Lexi, it's Instructor Fran, and I wasn't really thinking when I replied to you this morning about the fact that you had the article title and authors in your discussion post. So I was going to show you how I would go about making both an in-text citation and a reference citation for the article you were speaking of. Okay, the reference citation is longer. It includes a lot more information about the article. You have to think back to the olden days when we didn't have such ease of getting information. You'd have to know a lot more details about an article to track it down and actually take a look at it. So the reference citation is long and it goes at the end. The in-text citation is short and it's like an abbreviation for the longer citation, and it goes with the information, the quote or the paraphrase in the paragraphs and sentences. So I'll show you the two. So the first thing to know is a lot of times for an article, you can find the citation in on the database page for the article. So if you look at this one, do you see how it says cite over here on the right? Sometimes it's on a different part of the page than this. But for this one, it's here. So if I click on that, it gives me a whole bunch of different possibilities. I'm going to scroll down to APA and I can just highlight that and cut and paste it. Okay, now it's not perfect. And the reason why is this is just an automated program that lifts information from the page. It doesn't mean that all the capitalization and stuff is right. The formatting. So I'm going to paste it into a Word doc. And I don't like that it has that background. I might have to do something about that. Let me type. I'm going to get rid of that gray background so that, I didn't do it for the whole thing. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, well, actually, I know what to do. Sorry about that. Okay, sometimes you can paste it in different ways. So I don't even know what those are called, but okay, so basically I just copied and pasted that information, and I'm going to look at it and make sure for the reference citation that it is correct. Okay, so you always have the last name, first initial. If there's a middle initial, you'll have that too. So that's right, last name, initial, period, comma, last name, comma, initial, period, last name, comma, first initial, period, comma, and then the last, between the last it has the and symbol, and then it has the last of the names. Okay, so that's right. Then it has the year. Okay, now I'm going to look at the title. The title, there's just really silly rules for APA article titles in a reference page. It's not the same for anything else that I know of, but basically you usually just capitalize the first letter of the article title and then everything else is lowercase, except if it's a proper noun like a name. I don't know what this acronym is, so I think it's it's considered a name. So I'm going to go in lowercase the first name, the first letter of everything else. This is really quite silly, but this is the rule. So first letter, anything that's a proper noun, and then anything that comes after like a colon in a title or a period or question mark or exclamation point, you're going to keep that capitalized too, which is, again, it all seems quite silly to me. So, okay, so now the article title is right. The first letter is capitalized, this proper noun is capitalized, the first letter after this question mark is capitalized, everything else is not. When in doubt, just capitalize the first one. And if it's a last name or something, a name, capitalize that, the first letter of that too. But anyway, that's that. Then I look at the journal title. It has normal capitalization rules. It looks great. And it's italicized. That's what we want here. Okay, and this is like issue number, and I'm blanking on what the other one is. Issue and volume. Those look right. And then it has the DOI, the address for the permanent. It's like a permanent address for the article. The only other thing is if this was in a reference page, I'd have it have a hanging indent, and that's opposite of normal indentation for a paragraph. Hanging indent means the first line isn't indented and everything else is. So you can either go up here to special and find hanging, or if you were to right click on that, you can go to paragraph and the same thing comes up and you go to special hanging. Okay, so that's the long citation that has all the information that if you were looking for the article, you could track it down. And really that's from when, like, I was in college in the 90s. You'd need all that information because you couldn't just go on the computer and find an article. Now, let's say you have a quote from the article. I'm going to make it really silly. We love pepperoni pizza the best. Okay, I don't know how to spell pepperoni, evidently. Okay, so let's say that's a quote, and then let's have a paraphrase. Okay, anytime you have a quote or a paraphrase in what you're writing, you want a mini citation called an in-text citation with the information, right with it, right with the quote, right with the paraphrase, to give credit. And it's just mini so it doesn't disrupt the reader from reading the information, but then it's enough so that they can find on the reference page exactly all the information that it's referring to. Okay, so how would I make an in-text citation for this? Well, I'm going to say according to, and then I'm going to put in the key pieces of information you need, which you need the author's last name, the year of publication, and with a quote you want the page or paragraph number. So the page or paragraph number has to come after the quote. The other information can come before or after. So I'll show you two ways of doing this. Okay, so according to Gaspar, now, if he was the, or she, I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman, if they are the only author, you would just put his or her last name like this. Okay, if there are two authors, you would put both of their last names with an and in between. Well, this is 3 or more. This is actually 5. So anytime you get to 3 or more, you use this, what I think is a Latin abbreviation, 8al, with a period after the al. It must be, I think it means like and others. And the al must be short for the word that's for others because you put a period after it like it's an abbreviation. So according to Gaspar et al., 2021, we love pepperoni pizza the best. Now, then we put the page or paragraph number. I'm going to pretend I'm just reading this off the web and there's no page numbers, so I have to count what paragraph it went to. Okay, and that's how the in-text citation looks. That's one way. So what makes this nice is I can look down and be like, oh, there's Gaspar. Oh, yeah, it's the right one. Because what if there's more than one article that you have referenced that's by this person? You can then go to the date, because usually we're not having multiple articles in the same year by the same person. It helps figure out which one it is. So, and then you have the paragraph number at the end. Okay, now I'll show you with this, with the paraphrase. So this isn't a quote. This is something that I just read it and I put the information together and put it in my words. Okay, it's the same information. It just all goes in the parentheses at the end. Okay, and really if it was on a bunch of different pages, because it's a paraphrase, you don't even need the paragraph number really. You could just do that. Oop, okay, now there's one problem. That would be if there's one author, but there's not. There's more than one. If there were two, after, if all the information is in parentheses, you would do this, use that and symbol if there were just two authors. But there's really 3 or more. So again, I have to use that abbreviation 8al period. And that comes at the end. And basically, like I said, they're just mini citations. They're small, so they don't disrupt the flow of reading whatever you wrote. But it's enough information where if somebody wanted to look into your resource, they can go to the reference page and find the long part. Okay, so the key is author's last name. If it's 3 or more, put the 8-owl period, the year, and if it's a quote, put the page or paragraph number. If you want to abbreviate page, it's just with a P period, like that. Okay, the author's information and the year can come before, or you could put all the information after in parentheses. Notice that only the year is in parentheses before if you put the author's name like it's in the sentence leading up to it. Okay, so I know that was quick. I hope that helped. Definitely feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. Yeah, have a great day.